We've talked about the LA streamer clique before and how people like Pokimane and Valkyrae and Ludwig and QTCinderella and their affiliate Hassan, how they love to ruin their own reputations. And we'll be talking about QTCinderella in this video too, as she has once again made the news. But first, we've got to talk about Just a Minx. This is someone that I've never discussed before, but she's also made the news, apparently getting caught in this very strange lie, and the same lie that I've seen some other people make as well. For example, I think it was, if I recall, that Andy Cortez guy that likes to rant about Asmongold. I think he said something similar, that he didn't pay for his blue checkmark. As a matter of fact, he even put it in his username. How performative is that? Didn't pay for my blue checkmark. So this same thing that Minx got hit for might also apply to that guy and anyone who's saying similar stuff. But that's a little bit of a diversion, a sidetrack. Let's focus on the main thing here, which once again is Just a Minx. Now, like I said, I've never talked about her before, so I just looked up some of the lore about her, and yeah, she does have some lore. And funny enough, it also ties back to the LA streamer clique. You see, allegedly back in 2023, she was at an after party for the Streamer Awards. And at that after party, she became so drunk, so wasted, that she was causing a lot of problems, getting physical with people, and the neighbors were eventually complaining, the venue was eventually complaining because this was getting so loud and out of hand that the cops came, shut the whole venue down, and this allegedly cost QTCinderella damages of around $50,000. This is what reports online say. So you fast forward to 2026, and Minx is still willingly, according to her own accord, making a spectacle of herself. This time, she was arguing with VTuber Banana Juju, got a response from Odd Sauce that says that she can't tell the difference between fiction and reality, calls her a retard. She responds to Odd Sauce, says, "At least I didn't pay for a blue check mark." She posts a really blurry picture of herself, just peak narcissism right here, like, oh yeah, I really owned you. Here's a picture of my blurry face. Like, okay. Odd Sauce says, you have a blue check mark too. What's your point? And that's where Minx says, didn't pay for it. Got it before Mr. Musk took over, bro. And she gets hit with the community note that reads, legacy blue check marks from before Elon Musk's takeover were removed starting April 2023 unless users subscribe to X Premium. So apparently she is paying for it and has been paying for it. People that make this lie, it's so performative. They try to virtue signal about not paying for a blue check mark, but they're apparently lying about that. Again, Minx is not the only person who's been caught saying stuff like this. And it's like, dude, you say you don't want to support Twitter, you don't want to support Musk, then just don't. But they do, they pay for it, and then they try to lie about it. And yeah, I know Minx here didn't say she doesn't want to support Elon, but many people who have been caught making this same lie have said stuff like that. That's my point with that generalization. And then like every other dime a dozen low bar trashy e-girl, when she's getting criticism, she just tries to call all the critics incels. And it's funny that whenever they do that, they don't realize that that just makes them all look worse. Dude, you're weird for taking it that direction. You're getting criticism. That's your only response. That's where your mind goes. That's the only thing you can think about. Talk about a self-report. You can only hope that one day they will mature and become less trashy. But, you know, it's their lives. Moving on to QTCinderella. You see, we have a now deleted tweet from QTCinderella. It's currently unclear why she deleted it. If she was getting too much backlash and she didn't want to deal with that, or maybe she doesn't stand by the take anymore, like I said. It is currently unclear. But obviously there are archives on the internet. Here's what the tweet did say. I've been away from every aspect of the internet for the last few weeks, actively grieving my best friend of 15 years. To come back online to see parasitic bad faith clip accounts, hate farming me / creating active hate thread discussions over innocent clips / content is disgusting. I am over it. I'm tired of the cesspool these accounts create. The flagrant intent to farm inconspicuous content into a form of loathing is not a network I want to be a part of against my will. Moving forward, I will be DMCAing any disingenuous or malicious use of my content. This is not something I have ever done, but it is something that I am setting my boundary on. Call me a redacted or pathetic, whatever you want, for taking legal action. I'm done with this BS. I am a kind, smart, and beautiful person, and I will not tolerate people profiting off of my content with intent to spread false narratives, and have no moderation of comments that are genuinely repulsive. I'm done with the abuse. I genuinely believe you are what you create and foster. If you would like to save my team some time, please tag accounts I should blacklist in the comments. For additional context, on May 28th, QTCinderella responded to this post on May 27th from a Clipper account, so this might be what spurred her now deleted tweet. The Clipper had said, QTCinderella speaks on female streamers trying to shoot their shot with Ludwig, which QT responded saying, "This is a podcast from 2022. I haven't been on the internet for almost a month at this point and at an all-time low for the year. I'm tired of getting hate farmed by losers trying to make a buck. Meanwhile, I'm in mourning over my best friend. I don't ever want to come back." And indeed, this got a community note as well that says the featured clip is from a 2022 podcast. Now, there certainly is an issue on Twitter with rage bait clip accounts. It's not like VTuber clippers. It's like a completely different thing. You know, the VTuber clip accounts, they're cool. These rage bait Twitter accounts, though, I've seen some of them literally make up fake quotes in the caption, and I'm not talking paraphrased. I'm talking completely made up fake quotes that are very inflammatory. And then they provide a clip, and the quote's nowhere in the clip. That's why I'm saying it's made up, because they quite literally did make it up. And then I've seen people arguing in the replies, arguing about the fake quote as if they didn't actually watch the clip, and they're just actually getting rage baited, and they don't even see that. And it's bizarre that they'll spend time arguing in the comments, but not watching like a 1-minute clip to fact check that what they're arguing about even actually happened. So I can sympathize with QT on some of this stuff, but at the same time, there certainly was also issues with QT's now deleted tweet. For example, how sections of the tweet certainly seem like they're crossing the line into over-policing the internet and advocating for censorious practices. We've also got Asmongold talking about the situation.
Moving forward, I will be DMCAing any disingenuous or malicious use of my content. This is a very, very dangerous path to go down. Like, in a lot of ways, I kind of see why she'd want to do that, but I think this is going to probably have an opposite effect, where as soon as now they see that it bothers you, like, how are you going to DMCA and shut somebody down that lives in Peru? How are you going to stop somebody from uploading your clips when they live in Australia? Like, there's really nothing that you can do about that. I mean, that's just the truth. Like at the end of the day, you can't stop people from talking about you on the internet. This is just the reality. You can't stop people from talking about you online. It doesn't matter whether it's positive, negative. Most of the time, you can't even stop people from like threatening you and like making like, you know, huge, like really bad accusations against you. So if you want to send takedown notices to all these different places, you know what they can do. And I will tell her what the speedrun event for this is. Okay. So basically this is what the DMCA, this is the DMCA process, right? So this is the DMCA, right? So the DMCA is filed, right? So then it gets filed. And so then after that, it goes back to the person that uploaded, right? So this is the uploader. And now the uploader has two choices, right? And so choice one is delete, right? And this is what people almost always do, is they just instantly delete. But there is another option you can take. And the second option is contest. And so this is, you can contest the DMCA and say that, no, actually what I did was fair use. If you do that, the content is automatically reinstated, and then it's sent back to the individual person who sent the DMCA, and you send them your information, and they can send you a lawsuit. So that's the way it works. And this is the reason why QT isn't going to be able to do this, is that you can't sue 100 clip accounts. You don't have the capital for that. You don't have the money for that. You don't want to do that. It's just a bad idea. So this is, again, like, I always think that making accusations, there's nothing worse than to try to bite somebody and for them to realize that you don't have any teeth. Because at that point, they realize that they can take advantage of you and they can hurt you. Because not only have you exhibited that you now are vulnerable and that this makes you angry, but also that you can't do anything about it. And so I think this is what the reality of this is going to be. And Mansplain, yeah, exactly. Zero teeth, paper tiger. Exactly. It's a gun bite. This is a powerless accusation. Flagrant attempt to farm it. The DM saying, it's not something I have ever done, but it's something that I'm setting my boundary on. Call me a bitch or pathetic, whatever you want, for taking legal action. I'm done with this bullshit. I am a kind, smart, and beautiful person. And I will not tolerate people profiting off of my content with the intent to spread false narratives, and have no moderation of comments that are genuinely repulsive. I'm done with the abuse. I genuinely believe that you are what you create and foster. So, again, I actually like Cutie. I think that she's a nice girl. I've talked to her multiple times. I've never had a bad interaction with her. I think that she gets pretty emotional and she's very impulsive, and she'll make comments like this and immediately reply to something. And I think that it will make things like this worse. I do think so. And I think that now, after you've done this, you're going to have even more people. Like, there are all these random accounts, and people are just going to start uploading negative stuff about it constantly. I mean, do you really want to send all of these takedown notices to people all the time? I don't think so. I will tell you this too, is that there has never in the history of the internet ever been an instance where a person has tried to, like, increasingly, like, DMCA and shut down negative clips of themselves, and it's been effective. Every single instance of this ever happening has completely backfired, and it's been a dramatically damaging thing. Like, I remember this happened with Mundane Matt. It's happening with the Quartering. It happened before with, what was it? The Fine Brothers trying to copyright React content. Like, there's never been an instance where shutting down discussion around the topic was seen as the correct option by anybody. So, just keep that in mind. That's my advice to her, right? As somebody who's not, like, I'm not trying to hate farm her. I'm not trying to be mean to her. I'm trying to be as genuinely honest and helpful as I can. Like, that's really the way that I feel about it. And by the way, I commiserate with this. There are a lot of people that all the time will regularly make clips about me that completely misrepresent what I say. Like, for example, like, there was that clip the other day where I said that PewDiePie just got lucky, and it was framed in a way that it made it sound like I was trying to, like, delegitimize PewDiePie's success. Yeah, and I would prefer that people didn't do that. I would. Like, I didn't like that they did that. But unfortunately, that's just the world that we live in. That's life, right? And so it's annoying, but there it is.
In closing, it's currently unclear if Cutie still stands by her take and just deleted it to avoid further backlash, or if she changed her mind and doesn't actually stand by that anymore. Well, that's where the situation is currently. I'll leave it there. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.